We are now live
On YouTube?
on YouTube
Yay.
with our one viewer. I forget, maybe my sister's family.
Sweet. Which one? Elizabeth?
Liz, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Liz, not Elizabeth.
I can call her Elizabeth.
Okay.
That's cool. Fine.
That's what I used to call
This is live for her.
her. Next week, one more week. No,
We live, y'all. I'm party.
that's right. She'll be happy to have Saturday nights back. You too. You don't do anything on Saturday night.
Well, parking people.
That's right.
Have you ever been to Redmond Forest yet? I have. You can draw on this.
Oh, nice.
And it follows you around. That's cool.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Move your head. Oh, there you go. It moved. It's a little slow, but it moved. Oh, it's groovy. That's crazy. Google's awesome. Because oh, the mic. That's a shame. Okay. You on call this weekend?
No,
No.
new guys on call all the time.
Oh, really? That's the way you do it. How's he working out? Working out good for you? No comment.
Nothing I wanted to say.
No comment. We're live on YouTube, and he's doing a great job, huh? Fantastic.
True.
How do you?
I don't know.
The radio says it's true, right?
It's got to be. I mean, it's the radio, right?
You know, today was summer solstice, huh?
I did. Can't leave now. We're about to start. Questions for that?
2 minutes.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm really chilly.
Buffered us a lot.
Yeah, that was bad.
906.
Where are you getting 906 from?
Oh, man, I have like way off.
Yeah. It's Windows. What's your phone say?
901.
Yeah.
We went live a little bit early this week. It was super boring.
Well, not if we talk about people you work with. It should be super fun.
Huh?
Brian still works there?
Yeah. You run through books.
15 more months. We'll get bored eventually. It's like me. We like to change. It's time to move on. I can help you in a while.
All right.
I'm ready.
Okay, I could take care. Welcome to Tech Talk SA with your host Craig Deans.
And Jeremiah came summer solstice, June 21, the longest day of the year.
It's going to start getting shorter from now on.
That is your first tech tip of the day. In case you didn't know that, your days will get shorter from here on out to December.
Yes.
Which is nice. Cools off a little bit. Warm up there, isn't it? Out there?
That's fine.
No, it's not.
It's not that bad yet.
I melt every time I walk outside.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
I am terrible, terrible.
you should maybe go outside more often and then you
No,
won't melt as much.
no, I will. The heat, it means just don't mix. It's very, very nasty.
All right. Moving on to other
Nasty things.
non-positively.
We hope you're having a great evening as you're tuning in on AM 630 KSLR or KSLR.
KSLR.com.
Thank you. You should have some of those words.
I should. Or YouTube.com/TechTalkSA.
Yes, it's our second to last show,
Yes.
so it's getting close. One more week.
It's bittersweet.
I would agree. Very bittersweet. But we have some excellent, excellent topics to talk about tonight. I think we're going to really give you a lot of information that you can go on Monday morning at the water cooler. Do they still have water coolers?
Yeah, we have one
And
here.
they do, I think. And you'll be able to spew this tech knowledge and just seem like the smartest person in the room because you listen to Tech Talk SA. So let's get started. Awesome.
Are we?
We are gonna start.
Okay.
I'm gonna start it.
Alright.
I'm just gonna say we're gonna start with AT&T.
We are.
We love talking about AT&T. It seems like almost every other week. And
They're in the news.
they're in the news. And our tech prophet called this out last week.
Good.
He talked about AT&T buying a company before and not fulfilling promises or just
Yeah. So apparently AT&T likes to make grandiose promises about what they're going to do for the customer whenever they buy so and so's company, and it never pans out that way.
well, they even made the comment about upgrading their fiber. Remember, what is it called, Gigapower
Gigapower,
or Gig
yep.
Power or something like that?
Yep.
They're promising these things and just not holding up their end of the bargain.
Yeah. So it dates all the way back to 2006 when AT&T and Bell South were trying to merge.
Right.
They were saying, AT&T were saying, in quote, significant public interest benefits would come from this merger, such as deployment of broadband throughout the region that the two companies were in.
Yeah.
And did not quite pan out that way.
Nope.
They promised that 100% of residential living units in the region would have broadband by December 31st, 2007, with 80% being wired technology, which would be their U-verse or DSL service. Didn't quite get to those levels. I think they got to about 75%.
Which is pretty good, but they shouldn't have made the promise in the first place.
No. Well, the thing is, they make these promises so that they look good in the eyes of the Department of Justice and FTC, and so they get all this stuff approved. They even promised that they would have a $10 per month service.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, but they made it impossible to find.
Yeah.
Actually, buy the service. And I mean, then it goes to AT&T and T-Mobile, where they promised that they would deploy to 95% of the U.S. population, um, including rural communities and small towns. Um, the thing is, they said it would um, cover 300 million people in the United States by the year in 2014. This is the year we're in.
Right.
Um, up from their current plan to deploy 750 million. But
You're not looking at your notes.
no. So, so
This moment of silence brought to you by AT&T.
I have nothing good to say. DSL reports pointed out, and this is another website, document in 2011 showed it could have upgraded its nationwide LTE coverage from 80% to 97% for $3.8 billion. But AT&T decided that was too high a price, so they decided they were going to buy T-Mobile for $39 billion. And in the end, they had to pay T-Mobile $4 billion because the deal didn't work anyway. So they essentially could have upgraded their network for the price that they ended up paying
Right.
T-Mobile.
Horrible, horrible business sense. Who's running AT&T?
Good, nice. He's not the smartest man. AT&T and DirecTV, I mean, same thing. They're promising they're going to extend their fiber coverage. They're going to make sure everybody has internet access. And
But what does that have to do with DirecTV? Absolutely nothing.
exactly. Well, I think they're saying since their focus will not be on TV anymore because DirecTV's got that on lock, that they will be able to focus on just internet services. But the thing is, they provide their TV service through their internet cable.
Right.
So
I mean, what's the difference?
it's another circumstance where AT&T promises the moon when they could have just spent far less money to improve their infrastructure.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No. I don't think it makes sense to much people, but they'll get approved, I'm sure. And
I don't know. They were shut down with the T-Mobile merger, so
yeah, I just don't think they have the right people in their pockets, but I'm sure that'll change this time. I think they learned something from the last deal.
yeah, we'll see. But
So,
I mean, AT&T is good.
yeah.
I know everybody's loyal to them to some extent if they have their AT&T wireless service or their universe or this and that. I mean, they have okay products for the most part, but I mean, they're just not very good for the customer.
No, and unfortunately, when you're looking at these big companies, it's the lesser of the two or three or four evils. Unfortunately, I mean, when you certain products, you can't get a quality product, so you have to take the one that is the least evil. I mean, it's a better way to put it. The best way to put it. It's ridiculous.
It's true, and we'll actually be talking about one of those lesser evils a little bit later. So when we talk about T-Mobile's Un-carrier initiative and some of the things that they announced this past week.
Right, and you're listening. We're talking AT&T right now on Tech Talk San Antonio on AM 630 KSLR, KSLR.com, and on TechTalkSA.com, where you can listen live and watch live. As a matter of fact, on YouTube. So make sure you can check us out live at least for another week from the KSLR studios here in near the airport in San Antonio. And so, AT&T is what we're talking about, and just how, I mean, here in San Antonio, if you want broadband, what do you got, AT&T or Time Warner?
For the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, in small pockets, you might have like a Grande.
Do they provide broadband?
I think you have to be
So close to their.
Grande, and then
I just moved back. They don't have it. You don't have any choice in New Braunfels.
there are not very many choices throughout the city.
It's sad.
Unfortunately.
It's sad. Although the great news about that though is that Google will be coming to town. Hopefully, they'll hopefully announce it at the end of the year. I think is the plans, right?
They already one of the things Google actually announced that they were in a franchise agreement with Portland. So the good news is they're actually moving forward on some of this stuff, and so they're continuing planning to pay with Portland. Hopefully, and what what's weird is that we're the first ones who, send in our acceptance letters.
Right.
And yet we haven't heard if we.
And I think that has to do with who's willing to help Google out. I know there's a company right now that is in talks with the contract for Google to help do the infrastructure and get things put in place. So that may be something that's holding Google up. It's just all the logistics of the getting the right people in place at the right price and getting this taken care of. Because it's a company here in town that I don't know them personally, but they should be. I've been around and I hear things in the Techverse. Is that Tech Universe? Sure, I can make things up, right? So we're going to keep an eye out for that, because what's going to happen here? Next week's our last show, so it's going to be a special show. We love it. 6 months. It's been about 6 months we've been on the air.
Yep.
Give or take. And so we'll have a good show next week. And what we plan, I think
we're our 26th show. So
hey, look at that. Well, because we've taken a Saturday off here or there due to illness or due to.
It ruins the symmetry.
Oh, because those are okay. So, but we're gonna probably take a couple months off, rearrange some things, and then come back with podcast. Is the plan, and video stuff,
podcast and
YouTube videos, and reevaluate things. And we don't know what the future holds. Could be anywhere. So, definitely log into our website at techtalksa.com and keep up with the news. It's a blog as well, isn't it?
Sure. It hasn't been blogged on.
Well, yeah, it's been a while. And because there's a lot of changes that happen.
A lot of things going
on. Yes. So, we'll keep you up to date on how things are going with us and what the plans are for the show to continue on, and how we're going to make a difference in this world we live in, talking about tech news and tech information, and keeping you up to date on all things technical. I think that's a great plan that we have so far. Do you like that plan? Have we even really talked about the plan? No. I'm just kind of making it up as I go. Well, but it sounds good.
It does sound good.
It sounds good. So we'll be around, definitely letting you know where we're at, what we're doing, and keep you up to date as we talk tech here on AM 630 KSLR. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and after the break, we're going to talk a little bit more about Google and home automation. So stay tuned. Tech Talk yesterday. A lot of talking. I need water.
Hurry. You only got a minute.
Oh, 1 minute.
A moment for a commercial break.
Remember, we got a little intro.
Well, we are back and ready to continue our technology discussion.
Yes. Giving you the tech info that puts you ahead of everybody else that doesn't have tech info. Sometimes words just keep coming, and it's
and they're awesome.
They are. I am just full of awesome words if they come out correctly.
That is awesome.
So, one of our favorite subjects on Tech Talk, if you haven't listened in a while, is Google.
Well, this is more than just Google.
Right, but it's still Google.
It's well, yeah. It's a so Google owns a company called Nest.
Right.
And Nest is kind of separately operated. They haven't been sucked into Google.
Right.
They operate as a separate company. But they do smart thermostats, and they now do like smoke alarms as well.
Well, those haven't worked out too well yet.
Well, they put them back on the market, and they're actually $30 cheaper. So they're $100.
Now you have a Nest.
I have a Nest thermostat.
Is it working out for you?
It's fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah. It looks so much better than any other thermostat. First of all, whenever you have people over, they automatically like gravitate towards the thermostat now.
Can you talk to it yet?
No.
That I'm sure that'll come soon.
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of need to for the most part.
Once you said it, you forget it.
The thing is with the Nest is you set it up, it learns from your schedule, and then it kind of sets things accordingly. And you don't have to worry about it. I mean, it's got a motion sensor on it.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That knows when you're away based on
No movement.
No movement. And if you buy the smoke detectors that they have motion sensors in them as well. So it gives the Nest thermostat a little more information.
So your home is really a Nest because the whole thing knows what's going on.
Yeah. So
what do they do?
the Google-owned Nest company. So Nest bought a company called Dropcam.
Dropcam.
So Dropcam is a company that does essentially video
Security.
surveillance.
Yeah, security cameras.
Exactly. So they're super simple to set up. They work off of your Wi-Fi network, and you plug them into power, hook them up where you want them, and you're online. It literally takes 5 minutes to set these cameras up, and you're good to go. And you can start monitoring things. I've heard people use them as like a baby monitor.
That's a good idea.
It's cheaper than a baby monitor, and you can still talk to your baby through the Dropcam.
Can you?
Yep. So there's two-way communication through the Dropcam as well.
Because the baby will talk back to you.
Exactly.
Now, and then they also have a service where they can keep your footage.
So yeah, they have a service. So if your home gets broken into,
Right. If you have it somewhere
you
on
want that
Windows.
archives.
Right.
So yeah, it's all online, and I think it's $10 a month if you do it for like 7 days, and it's $30 a month if you keep it for a whole month or longer. I'm not entirely sure. I don't have a Dropcam yet, but I'll probably get one.
Now, and I think the big deal here is as far as Nest buying it, rather than saying Google actually bought it, is the privacy issue, right?
Yeah, and Nest's CEO has essentially said, all of our data is separate from Google. Google has no access to our data. So they can't go in there and essentially use it for spying on you.
Surveillance for the NSA.
Exactly.
They have their own thing.
The cool thing about Nest buying Dropcam is Dropcam started to do a little more home security stuff like door sensors and window sensors and some outdoor sensors, just to let you know where things are open or whatnot. But Nest is essentially creating their own home automation system.
Right.
So they've got Nest Thermostat, which is always a huge home automation thing. They've got the smoke alarm, which has tons of sensors in it.
Right.
Motion sensors, sound sensors, light sensors, a bunch of different things that can read information. So they could be tied into a home automation system if you wanted to. And then Dropcam is added in there. That's surveillance, but also doors, windows.
Yeah.
I think they have a complete sensor for this outdoor rating. And
so you could answer the door through the camera and talk to the pizza guy saying, your money's in the mailbox, leave your pizza on the front door, and go.
You totally could.
Amazing. You know what I'm thinking about? All right, so I have 2 cats right now. And in fact, I had this conversation with my wife last night. We like cats.
Yeah.
I like them. They're just fun because they're entertaining. But we were talking about how many are socially accepted. Like how many is too many
until you turn into a cat lady.
Cat lady, right?
Yeah.
But now this just gives an added feature. So now that I'll be working out of the house half a day or whatever, I can turn the access the cameras from wherever I'm at,
Right.
and I should be able to talk to them, right? I can talk to my kitties
Sure.
through the phone. I think eventually I'll be able to, or if I have a mic on my laptop, I'm sure eventually if I can do it at home, I should be able to do it from anywhere.
Yeah, you can do it from anywhere.
So then I can just entertain my cats and make sure that they listen to me.
Or completely freak them out, maybe looking around.
They're looking for me and they
Yeah,
start
we'll see.
crying. Oh, that would be so sad for my cats. I think it's sad that I'm talking about getting more cats, to be honest with you.
Maybe a little bit. So that I think the possibilities are endless to some extent with online music leading into, and I know they've already got like door locks from different companies,
Uh-huh.
turning on off and on lights and different things. But imagine something so simple, where it essentially knows exactly when you're going to be there, which room you're normally going to be in, and it turns those things on accordingly, saving you money and energy.
It's still kind of creepy though, but here's where I'm at.
You think that's a little creepy? I mean,
I don't
here's the
know.
deal.
I like saving money.
You're either going to have to stay off the grid completely, which is really not an option at this point,
Right.
or you got to buy all the way in and be the owner of your own surveillance.
See, now, what would be kind of cool is just to keep an eye on the kids with this stuff too.
I mean, video is one thing. I think you have to look bigger, because Nest is looking bigger than just
Sure.
buying into, hey, now we have this video service.
Right.
I mean, they're thinking whole home.
Yeah.
So eventually, you'll have an app on your phone where you can control your whole home.
Lights, oven.
Yeah.
Everything.
And it's just amazing thing
Yeah.
at this point. It's just kind of cool to see a company like Nest, because Nest was the first one to bring in the thermostat and make it simple to use.
Yes.
I know. I think they put out statistics a while back, and I don't know the exact statistics, but it was like a staggering number of people never programmed the thermostat because it's too complicated.
Some were difficult. Yeah. Some. It's great once you do it.
Sure.
But I'd have to go do my parents, or they just wouldn't program it. In fact, I still don't think they program it. They don't. I should get them a Nest.
Exactly. So that's the benefit of Nest, is you never have to worry about programming it. It just figures it out.
I think that would be an excellent grandparent day or birthday gift. I think I'm going to do that.
It's expensive, but sure.
Yeah, but they just raised me. Maybe I shouldn't spend that much on them.
Probably.
No. And
That sounds really,
Mom, I hope you're not listening to me.
sounds really expensive to spend on someone.
How much do they run? 150?
$250.
Two? Oh! I'll save up for that one.
The smoke alarm's $100.
Well, that could. Is it also
It's a carbon monoxide.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, it does all that stuff.
I almost died in my parents' house with carbon monoxide. I wouldn't say it almost died. It happened when it came out.
That's actually an interesting thing they talked about when they re-released smoke
Right.
detectors. They said more people have carbon monoxide in their house than they know.
Yes.
It's almost I think it's like not 1%, like 6% of people.
Well, it's so funny that I just continue on the story because it's funny. But we're there, and they have like an upstairs room. That's where we were staying, and we smelled gas, and it was a stove.
Yeah.
The stove was somehow somebody bumped into it and turned it on because it was a gas stove, and that's how it was escaping.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you think about how many different devices in home can be using gas.
right.
So there's the hot water heater, there's your furnace, your stove.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's tons of different things. Your fireplace could be.
Right. That's
So,
a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, there's tons of different things that could be leaking carbon monoxide.
That's true. Although my new home will be all electric.
Mhm.
I don't have any gas, which I like to cook with gas. But, well, do you have gas?
Yeah.
Do you?
Well, not as my not for the stove.
Oh, well. All right, we're gonna take another little break here on Tech Talk SA as we talk about Nest and AT&T. We got some more stories coming up, so stay tuned. I like cooking gas.
So we try and hit Amazon, T-Mobile, and couldn't do that. You see any reviews sometimes on things? No, I don't think we don't have it. Are they free time? They might be, but I don't think it's up to us for that. I felt that Amazon too. Oh, you? With 0 views. Everybody was there. It was the next stuff.
That bored them. So if you're watching later in the week, we hope that you kept on to this point.
It gets better from here, we promise. We've already seen the end of the show.
Excellent.
Yeah, pre-order. Yeah, you can see.
The item will be released on July 25th. Four-year prime.
Yeah.
We already paid the fine.
I know we should take the money to the next 3 or right.
Have you used their music service yet?
Yeah, but I'm going to see if they need it.
Yeah. Now, do they stream music too?
Maybe you can download it.
Is that free or you got to pay for it?
I saw my right away. So
That's not bad.
$10
For people that have signed up for it early.
Yeah, who did sign up for it? Like the first time. The only reason I would never buy this is you didn't have Google options.
Yeah, they have their own set of apps for like they do for the Fire. So we went to Fredericksburg and we bought sheets. That's it. Sheets. Sheets for the bed. Yeah, they're very nice. I think they were, yeah, we put them on the bed when we got home. Or washing them. They're very comfortable. Because the other sheets ripped that we had. Yeah, they were very comfortable. No, it's just, no. I don't know how they ripped, because they ripped at the foot. No, they didn't. They ripped it. We put them at the foot. I think I somehow tore it.
I think maybe you had
Nope.
crazy long toenails or something.
No, I think my hand. I always pull the sheets off the bed. I'm crazy when I sleep, and I dream vividly, and I act out my dreams. Crazy. I've kicked people. I've woken up from a soccer dream with my foot in the air. No, field goal. I was kicking a field goal. Is what I was. That's what it was. Yeah, I can tell you all about my dreams. How much fun it is. But I'll spare you that. Oh, John Dean.
Welcome back to Tech Talk with you.
Here in San Antonio.
Yes, Texas.
Live from the KSLR studios on the 12th floor.
12th floor.
On your June 24th, your summer day of solstice. Summer solstice. We hope you enjoyed the longest day of the year, and we're glad you're listening and finishing up the longest day with the greatest show of the day. So here we are. We've talked about AT&T, talked a little bit about Nest, a let's talk about something that came out this week, or it was announced, I should say, announced this week, and was all over the news.
It was.
If you happen to be watching the news or just alive,
Pretty much any news.
and that is the wonderful and new Amazon phone. I think it's kind of cool.
It's lofty praise on a device that hasn't been released yet.
True, but I think some of the things that they offer is kind of cool.
Some of the features, if they work, are pretty.
Well, I think they should. They came out with their tablet a few years ago, with their Amazon Fire tablet, and that was not bad.
Right.
They don't last very long.
Yeah.
But
I think for the most part, most of them will last about a year.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty standard nowadays. Most devices they last about a year.
No, I think they should. I think they go 2 years.
Yeah, most should. I'm not saying they do.
If they're okay. Well, we won't get into that discussion
No,
this
it's a whole
evening.
different discussion.
So we're going to talk about the new Amazon design phone, which is called the Fire phone.
Yes. Apparently, Amazon was setting things on fire because everything is the fire.
Whoa! It's on fire.
The Amazon Fire phone, the Kindle Fire, the Fire TV. They're just burning
I gotta say though, I love that commercial.
Which one?
The one they have with that crazy dude.
Gary Busey?
Gary, oh, I love it. High pants. Oh, it's wonderful. Gary Busey is crazy funny because he's crazy.
He's just crazy.
But he's a nut. It's a great commercial. All right, back to the phone.
Back to the phone. So there's a few features that they're going to have that nobody else has.
Right. So is it worth it? I don't know. Let's talk about it. What about this dynamic perspective? So are you looking at that page?
Yeah, the dynamic perspective is essentially things look like they're three-dimensional on the phone. So it's got 5 cameras on the front of the device to track your eye location, what you're looking at, how you're holding the phone.
Right.
And so that's going to give you three-dimensional perspective so you can see different things differently. I think that's going to have to be seen to understand.
Right. And I mean, the iPhone kind of does that. But it moves.
That's
it's not really
just
3D.
just
It
the
just
background,
moves.
yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. That wouldn't necessarily alone sell me on the phone. That's kind of cool, but I mean, I'm not going to buy a phone just because it's got dynamic perspective.
So I think some of the other features that maybe are a little more interesting are like tilting the screen to open menus,
Right.
Or swiveling the screen to access notifications and quick actions like the flashlight or settings.
Yes, that is
Um,
very useful.
And so I think the more that companies can develop phones and techniques to use just one-handed,
Yeah.
since these phones are getting so large that they're getting very difficult to use with one hand, the fact that they can use gestures or different things to make them continue to be one-handed devices, I think is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And definitely going to improve the experience for anybody that's been using it.
Now, I do like the Firefly
Yeah, this
feature.
This is the coolest feature that
Yeah.
they announced.
because I like to shop on Amazon anyway. Because whenever I'm out, and I always think, okay, I could buy this now, or I could go get it cheaper on Amazon. Usually.
Exactly.
Did I tell you about? Okay, so I'm diabetic. We talked about that, right?
Yep.
Maybe once or twice. So I have to buy test strips. Did I tell you how much of a difference there were?
No.
Oh, man, I want to buy 100 test strips because I got to test my blood all day long and see how much sugar.
Yeah.
And I know we've discussed insurance,
Yeah.
so I'm not going
Don't
to go
get
into
started.
that. But it was $85 for 100 strips to buy them at the pharmacy. Right?
Wow.
Okay. Free shipping.
I'd like to be surprised, but I shop on Amazon.
Crazy. I know. So if you don't, definitely go to Amazon. And this is what this part of the phone. I didn't mean to interrupt you all that, but I shop on Amazon anyway. It's
Yes.
better. So Firefly. So what it does is it uses a camera and a microphone to recognize real world objects.
This is not the first
No.
thing to do it. Google has their Google Goggles app that has done the same thing. And even Amazon has apps for other phones that do similar things.
Right.
This just takes it to the next level and essentially is watching and listening 24/7 while the phone is awake.
Yeah, and you can show it products while you're in the store. And again, there's other apps that do this, and it can tell you what the price is on Amazon.
Yeah, it'll read phone numbers, emails, web addresses, and will then kind of make them clickable on your. Instead of having to type in www.techtalksa.com,
Right.
you would essentially point it at a poster or whatever that has that web address, and it would read it. It would read it, and then you could just click on the little notification that put it on you.
Amazing. And then it'll also recognize songs and audio from TV shows.
Yeah, I think everything does that now. Though.
Oh, yeah, I know, but it's very nice.
Yeah, so obviously it's going to be a big boon for Amazon. They're looking for more ways to make money, and using this phone is going to help them make more money.
Sure.
Essentially.
Yeah. It's a cool phone, although, pretty much as each new phone comes out, the other phones eventually copy them and are able to meet the technology for the most part. And what is going on? What else does it have?
Well, it has Mayday, which their Kindle Fires already have.
Right.
That's essentially like a personal assistant
That comes up and helps you out.
which is super awesome for people who have trouble with technology.
I can name a few.
It's a free webcam. I mean, you're looking at them, they're looking at you.
Right.
They can notate things on the phone to tell you, hey, this is how you do things. It's kind of a good service for people who just are not good with technology.
It is. They do a good job with that. I know a lot of people said that they do appreciate that. The biggest drawback to this device that we just talked about personally was the app situation.
Yeah, so you can't use any Google apps whatsoever.
Right. It's an Android-based phone, but just like their Fire tablet, it's not the same or Android version as other tablets or other phones. So you can't use the Google Play Store.
Yeah.
You got to get apps specifically made for the
You
Fire.
can't use Gmail or Google App or Maps.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things you'd be missing out versus any other Android phone.
Exactly. So that's the largest drawback I think on this phone. But I mean, it is cool. But some of these things will start coming out on the other phones as they get redesigned as well. But if you want to try it, if you like Amazon, you like some of the features, it may be for you.
I think it's definitely something to head to. Like, I don't know where you can buy it other than Amazon, but if they have it at a store, it'd be something to go and see in person, because I'm sure at least the screen will be interesting to look at.
Well, right now it's going to only be with AT&T. That's the word.
Right. Yeah, it's only going to be on AT&T, but they
Their
may
network.
sell it at like a Best Buy or something like that.
Right. I'm sure it'll be at the AT&T store, and they say, I think it was just like the iPhone. AT&T is pretty popular. A lot of people have that, so maybe they'll sell a little bit more, and then you can expand it to your other wireless carriers. So AT&T, Amazon, check it out. You may like it. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All right. Now we're gonna. You kind of talked about this earlier.
About this earlier. So T-Mobile is all about their new Un-carrier initiative. I mean, they've done a bunch of different things, and I'm not going to really go into it because we don't have time. But so they did their new Un-carrier 5 and Un-carrier 6, and so those two initiatives are one, you can actually rent an iPhone for 7 days to test out on their network for free. For free. So it gives you an idea of how their network will work in your city, and so they'll pay your early termination fees, which is another Un-carrier initiative that they did. And so if you like it, you can switch carriers essentially for free. And so they get your business, and they were able to show off how their network works versus another network.
Well, it's innovative, I gotta say. They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying all sorts of new stuff, which is awesome. So that's one of the things that they're doing. They're also doing voice over LTE, which I think we've talked about in the past.
Right.
But they're announcing that for 15 new markets. So that should make hearing people on the other end of the line a lot better as long as both phones support that.
Yes.
And I think the coolest thing that they're offering is Uncarrier 6, and that is they are allowing you to stream music from certain services, which I'll name in a second, for free, no data charged against you.
Wow.
So obviously you'll
That's
have to
kinda
have
cool.
data with them, but
Right.
it won't count against your data allotment. The services that are supported are Pandora, Rhapsody, iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, Samsung Milk, Slacker, SFX Beatport, and Spotify.
So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Now that iTunes owns Beats, I wonder if they'll put Beats on there.
Could be
I
more.
don't know. But anyway, I imagine. But anyway, so yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so I mean,
Music freedom.
not being charged against your data allotment is fantastic. I know that my wife has gone over her data allotment because we play music and she loves the radio feature and will just like play it constantly. She's not the only one. So yeah, I mean, exactly. So the fact that they're doing this, they're not counting it against you. This is another reason why that they're getting a whole lot of new customers recently, as well as they're improving their service throughout the different cities that they operate, which is why they've been going and offering an iPhone for 7 days for free to test things out. So,
What I wonder is if they're going to offer the iPhone 6 on it when that comes out.
it's the iPhone 5S right now, so
Right.
who knows? I think Apple's actually giving them the iPhones to let them do that. So
Is that why?
Yeah.
Well, they want to get rid of those two before the 6 come out.
sure.
So interesting. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're going to keep doing the Uncarrier thing, try and be different from everybody else, and make things simpler for everybody.
Yeah, 'cause that's tempting to me. Did you have T-Mobile before AT&T?
I did,
Okay.
and Verizon.
And Verizon.
I've been through everybody but Sprint because nobody wants.
Nobody wants Sprint. All right, so we're talking TikTok SA here. If you're wondering who we are, we're just two guys talking tech, and we're gonna take a short break, but we'll be right back after this.
I got that. Last second. Hey, Chris. Glad you could listen to the show.
Hi, Chris. Do I know you?
Chris is the one I need to talk to about our radio show.
The podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, you hadn't talked to him yet?
I
I
was
actually
gonna,
did do that like 2 months ago.
I know. I was going to talk to him the other day, but
I'll talk to you later.
things came up.
Things come up.
So get excited, Chris.
And anybody else that's watching YouTube this week, we're free agents, so shoot us an email.
Exactly.
Wait.
So the second one or the first one?
What?
This is the second commercial?
Yeah. One second. You ready?
Oh,
I can see myself.
yeah. You said it so fast. That was another short break
Yes.
with another great intro by our board operator, Mark.
Mark. I wish we would have done this in the beginning.
Yeah.
It was good. It's good stuff.
But
But it helps send us out.
out with the bang.
With a boom. Nobody says bang anymore. Boom.
Boom.
Oh, and so, last week we had a few callers, right? A couple callers, which is surprising. But we hadn't even talked about this.
What's that?
We were correct on Game 5.
We were.
Yes, we called it.
We called it.
Here on Tech Talk, you heard that San Antonio was in Game 5.
Yeah.
And they did. Did
They
you watch
did.
it?
I did. Of course I did.
I don't know if you watched the finals.
We are not getting. We talked about it.
We did talk about it. We did. I was at home watching. I didn't go downtown. I'm a little too old for the crowd. Standing in my car with a flag. Did you go downtown?
No, you couldn't have paid me to go downtown.
Yeah, no, I would have declined. I was not going to go down there and jump around. I didn't jump around in my living room watching it.
I'm not a big jumper.
No,
I don't get excited about things.
you don't.
I don't.
But that's okay. You don't have to.
That's fine.
You
Others get excited for me.
exactly. I think your wife is pretty excited. Sure. So she she takes it for the whole family.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. So let's get back to Tech Talk. No more sports talk here on Tech Talk SA. You're listening on AM 630 KSLR. Maybe you're watching on YouTube.com/Tech Talk SA or our website. You can go to KSLR.com right now. KSLR.com. I try to put them all into one word.
It's 4 letters always get
Four
you.
letters always. Any letters get me, to be honest. But you can actually get our podcast right now. If you missed last week's show or any show. Our famous show, I think one of our best shows when we talked about internet pornography. And
I think that one's been played a few times.
I think I like that show. So if you've never heard that one, you need to go and listen. That was a good one.
It's like show 8 or something.
Yeah, it was an awesome show, and definitely go back and listen to that one, especially if you have family and you want to protect the house. That was an excellent show.
We must protect this house.
Thing. That was not a recorded. That was actually Craig saying that.
Okay, so moving on to technology. These are kind of our apps of the week to some extent. We
Yes.
haven't done that in a while.
No, we haven't. So
So the first one, shocker, Google again. But this feature is bar none one of the coolest things I've seen from anybody yet. So if you have an Android phone, and actually I think if you have an iPhone with the Google Search app on it,
yes,
this is probably still applies.
which if you don't have the Google search app, go get it now.
What you can do is when you're searching for an artist, say maybe Shane and Shane, just to use a Christian artist, because that's not what they use. So when you search for an artist through the Google Search app, you will then be given a list of apps on your phone that you can open songs by that artist. So the songs that are supported, and I don't know if it works on iPhone. I know it works on Android phones. So the services that are supported are iHeartRadio, Google Play Music, Rdio, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. So once you do that search for an artist, say Shane and Shane.
Shane.
Live demonstration. You could feel miserably.
So it brings up Shane and Shane.
Yeah, I think it works on this.
What?
So
They just brought up a Google search.
Okay, Google. Shane and Shane.
I picked up on my phone too. And like you.
Well, unfortunately, my Google Glass is connected to my phone, so it makes searches a little more difficult. So I can't really fix that right now. But suffice it to say,
Failed horribly for us.
well,
Not the first time on Tech Talk.
you keep talking, and I'll get this working.
Right. So what we're trying to do here live on the radio, which doesn't seem to work out, is
I was not planning on doing
you weren't. But I thought, hey,
it. Okay, Google.
he's talking
Shane
into
and Shane.
Google device to try to pull up an artist, and through Google search, and then it pulls up the apps that would maybe play the music for you, or the video like in YouTube. Maybe it would.
Mine doesn't have. Oh, because you said that.
Is it listening to me now?
Well, it was. But let me see if I can just erase it. Okay, so yeah. Shane and
Oh, look,
Shane
there it worked.
pulls up the apps that I have on my phone, Google Play Music, YouTube, and TuneIn. So I can go press on one of these, and I'll do Google Play Music, which is what I use. And hopefully.
Maybe I need to update. I don't know my app.
So yeah, it pulls up all of my Shane and Shane music, and I'm ready to go. I mean, I can then go in there and play all the
Which is a
music I
cool.
have.
Yeah, that is a very cool integration of the app if it works.
It does work especially if you're on Android.
Android.
Yeah, I don't know if it
Android.
works on iPhone.
Eventually, it should probably work.
Who knows?
Right.
Who knows?
Which is, and that's cool that it's saying, hey, here it is, push me here, and then you can actually listen to it without going through your web browser.
Exactly. I think it's great that it knows which apps you already have, and it's going to use those that you have on your phone.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. So let's get to our other last app of the evening, which we've talked about before.
We have talked about.
And I haven't. I thought I saw this week, and I was like, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna use because I don't you don't use it anymore. I do. The funny thing is, I have my Bluetooth on. It's automatic. Okay, so we've actually done a video on this. We talked about the automatic device, which I think is really cool, and they've just updated and added a new feature. But I have Bluetooth on, but it doesn't always connect to my device. It's supposed to do it automatically, and it doesn't. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. I noticed because I tend to brake hard,
yeah,
and I tend to hit the gas a little bit on my start off,
and it never notices.
It doesn't unless it happens to be connected, and then I hear the little beep, and I'm like, oh, duh, be careful.
That.
Yeah. Oh, that still works. Great. But I meant to check this out, and I just forgot my busy week. But automatic now shows you how much gas you got left,
which is great.
Yes,
if you can't read your dashboard.
Right. And well, I think it comes in handy because like some people like to push it to the very edge. Did you know that Fords have a sensor that tells you you're low on gas?
Really?
Yeah. When you hit about,
don't they all have a sensor that tells you you're low on gas?
I would assume, but I just know I have 2 Fords, so that's just what. Right. So I know it tells me, it beeps at me, says has low fuel.
Yeah, mine does too.
And on my wife's car, it's a little bit higher.
Mine's usually like when I'm down to a gallon.
No, hers turns on when it's a few gallons because it tells us 50 miles left.
Well, that's because if it was a gallon on her car, you'd get like 10 miles.
Yeah, it's an Expedition, so yeah, you only get a few miles on that. But well, she likes to know how many miles she has, so she always leaves one of the settings tells you got 200 miles left
on this trip or whatever.
On the tank.
Oh yeah, sure.
And so it really beeps, but it beeps and says you have 50. We've actually taken it down to 1 mile.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's always a little nerve-wracking.
We are rebels. I mean, we were almost at Buc-ee's. This is when we go up all the time at Buc-ee's, and we were just down the street, and we had a mile to go. And I think it had like a 2 or 3 gallon reserve, because there's no way. I think it does have a reserve. Like when it hits 1 gallon, like we know you're being dumb, so we don't tell you that you really have more.
I don't think it's the government with oil. I don't think it just has.
No,
reserves.
I think the Ford has a It's like has a little bit extra. Yes, it does.
I don't think so.
Anyway, so now your automatic app will tell you how much gas you have left, so that you don't have to rely. Like my truck only says low fuel. My truck doesn't tell me how many miles I have left.
I think what would really be beneficial with this is if you get out of the car and it essentially knows when your commute normally is. It would be like, ding, hey, remember you got to get gas. It'd be nice if it notified you outside the car, so you know exactly, hey, before I get in the car, I know I need to go to the gas station.
Well, you should get like a little warning on your phone, like even a text message.
Sure.
So that I know to leave 10 minutes earlier.
There you go.
So automatic, if you're listening, I would love to have a text message come to my phone saying, hey, you need gas, you've only got 10 miles left.
Well, if they integrated with Google Now, that would do it, because Google Now, if you have the address of I can't even think.
Oh, he's saving that for next week.
Oh.
One more show left here on AM 630 KSLR, so please join us. Tell your friends. We're going to go out with a bang or a boom. Go out in style.
You said bang too.
I did say that to you. So we got one more week here next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Tech Talk SA. We hope you'll join us, and we'll talk to you next week.
That's all.
Good night.